Everything is happening right here. Well, I'm in your way, huh?
Baltimore!
In the Preakness, all eyes of the world will be on Baltimore.
He wins the Preakness by a dozen lengths.
Sees the grave, wins the Preakness.
Oh, and the coach will try. Ooh, shall we try that again? Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to the post position draw for the 150th running of the Preakness Stakes. I'm Brittany and absolutely thrilled to be with you all once again at the Guinness Open Gate Brewery here in Baltimore. I often get asked what's my favorite part of the Preakness, and I have to say it's the energy, it's the vibe that only Baltimore and Pimlico can bring. And we have a wonderful group here at the brewery. So thank you to everybody in this room. Lots of connections waiting to hear their post position. And a big thank you to those of you watching at home. For this, it's always a big moment, right? In the Triple Crown season, this is the second jewel. But this year hits just a little different. It's not just because it's the 150th, but because it marks the end of an era. The final Preakness at Old Hilltop, of course, as we know it. Now, some of you might know this story, but the doors at Pimlico first opened back in 1870 with a colt named Preakness winning the inaugural dinner party stakes, of course, eventually lending his name to the race that would become one of the most iconic in American sport. Now, for over 150 years, Old Hilltop has been home to some unforgettable moments, many of which you just saw there, but from Secretariat's record-shattering performance to Rachel Alexandra beating the boys, Pimlico has truly seen it all. So this year, we celebrate that history as it marks the final chapter for Preakness at this Pimlico. The track may change, the infield may not have the porta potty run, which I sorely miss, but I have no doubt that the spirit of the Preakness, with all of its traditions, its grandeur, its glory, will remain the same. Now, speaking of that, it feels only right that we're hosting once again today's draw at another spot full of history, the Guinness Open Gate Brewery here in Baltimore. And doing a little research, I found this fascinating. So the Open Gate Brewery in Baltimore is on the site of the historic Calvert Distillery, which was first opened after Prohibition back in 1933. So we have a historic site to kick off the week for a historic race. And you might see, oh, I don't know if we can get it on the camera, but people in here can see brand placement, marketing. Third year, though, the Preakness and Guinness have worked together, and they're very proud to debut Preakness 150 Lager. I'm going to show you guys back home. This is a limited edition lager, and it celebrates the milestone race with the iconic brewer and is available, of course, in draft and custom cans if you make it out to the Preakness. So, that being said, let's take a look back. A little over a week ago, at Churchill Downs, Sovereignty stormed down the stretch through the slop to take Kentucky Derby 151. As you well know, Belmont and the Connections have opted for more time. He'll be prepped, pointing towards the Belmont Stakes. But Aaron Wellman, owner of Journalism, may have said it best about the Preakness. Triple Crown on the line or not, the Preakness is an important classic, and with that comes an immense amount of prestige. So we will have 3 Kentucky Derby starters wheeling back in 2 weeks. Of course, they made us wait on pins and needles for this one, but runner-up, Journalism and Kentucky Derby favorite will be back, and of course, fan favorite, Sandman. So they are expected in the second jewel, but they will also meet a lot of fresh faces, and that's definitely what makes the Preakness so exciting. Some of those fresh faces, River Thames for trainer Todd Pletcher, Clever Again getting a lot of buzz for the Hall of Famer Steve Asmussen, and Heart of Honor. How about the international runner for the Osbornes? We'll get into them a little bit later. Now, a couple of particulars for all of you. Can't forget about the local hope. I think Pay Billy's connections are here. I knew they would give me a hoot and holler. Thank you, guys. Okay, in terms of where you can watch all of this, right? So Black Eyed Susan Day, first post is 11:30 a.m. The Black Eyed Susan goes as race 13, all-day coverage, FanDuel, Ithaca. 4:30 p.m. will begin the coverage on Peacock. And in terms of Preakness 150 Day, Saturday, all-day coverage once again on FanDuel TV and Ipica TV, 2 p.m. on CNBC, and 4 p.m. head on over to NBC. Now, it's not the Preakness without a party, right? So what do we have in lead up to the big day? Who's been to the Alibi breakfast here? Anybody in this room? Okay, I've got a lot of hands. It is one of my favorite events, and I use this every year at the draw. It is where they toast, roast, and boast. It begins at 9 a.m. Don't forget to get your tickets. Voice of Maryland Racing, Dave Rodman, will be honored, and I'm hoping we get the coach there because he definitely holds court. And in terms, again, about Black-Eyed Susan Day, that's a really open race. Dan Illman put 5-2 as the morning line favorite. Don't forget about that. That is on Friday. Saturday in the infield fan zone, hosted by Ray Lewis. And then, of course, we've got some more performances by Wyclef and T-Pain, an after-race performance by him. So much to look forward to. I'm done talking because you've heard me enough. So I'm going to have up here for a few words Mike Rogers, Executive Vice President of First Racing, and then we will be off and running. Mike?
Thank you, Brittany. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Maryland, can you hear me? Everybody hear me okay? On behalf of the Maryland Jockey Club and First Racing, I want to welcome everyone. Is that better? Yeah. Oh, there you go. To Preakness 150 Draw. But as you gather here tonight, it's important to remember Preakness isn't just a race about speed. It's also a race about legacy, about the names that are etched into the woodlawn vase, the moments that have defined a generation, and the traditions that have lasted 150 years. Just yesterday, a replay of the Easy Goer and Sunday Silence was playing on the TVs at Pimlico. And everyone around me stopped to watch. Think about this, even 35 years later, the excitement of that classic race still had us all on the edge of our seats as we watched that race. Since 1873, the Preakness has been more than a race. It's been a rite of passage for the horsemen, for the horses, for the fans, for the city of Baltimore, and for the state of Maryland. The Preakness is about the present, the past, and of course the exciting future that is about to happen for the new Preakness that's about to be developed. But right now, it's our turn to carry the tradition forward. So to the owners, to the jockeys, and the trainers, thank you for bringing your best to Baltimore. To the fans and to the partners, thank you for believing what this race stands for. And I want to say a big thank you to Bill Knopf and the entire Maryland Jockey Club team, and of course the First Racing team and the First Experience team. They have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this event happen. This year was a unique year. It marked a new chapter with a partnership between First Racing and the new MJC. I can't say enough about the dedication and the pride and the passion that all these folks have brought to the Preakness. And it's because of you that this event can thrive. So we have an incredible group of horses lined up. I'm very proud of our racing office and all the work that put on to get these horses that are coming here. So let's look forward to the week ahead. And so let's get to it to find out who the post positions will be. Thank you and welcome to Preakness 150.
Wonderful, Mike. Thank you so much. Ooh. Try that one more time. Okay, what you've all been waiting for, the post position draw for the 150th running of the Preakness Stakes. So lucky to have beside me once again, Chairman of the Maryland Racing Commission, George Mahoney, and Racing Secretary, Jillian Tulloch. So of course, a mile and 3/16 the distance, $2 million on the line, and 9 horses have been entered. So we'll put those 9 pills, shake them up, put the 9 names. Of course, we've got your runner-up in Derby favorite Journalism entered, the fan favorite Sandman, and plenty of fresh faces. Six. River Thames, post position 6 for River Thames for trainer Todd Pletcher. One of the very few races Pletcher has not won. Finished second in the Fountain of Youth behind eventual Kentucky Derby winner Sovereignty. Irad Ortiz Jr. will ride. 7. Sandman. Post number 7 for fan favorite Sandman. Mark Casse, quoting as saying, he quoted the late Alan Jerkins, I should say, run them when they're good. That is why they opted, after a 7th place finish in the Kentucky Derby, to change plans. They're going to run in the Preakness. John Velasquez will have them out. Number 1, goal-oriented. Post position 1, goal-oriented. I see Bob Baffer, the winningest trainer in Preakness history. Bit of a chuckle there. Flavian Pratt will ride. Baffert, of course, has the sole record for most wins in this race. This horse goal-oriented, making just his 3rd career start. But Baffert did say, I don't want to go unless he has a chance to win. Post position 2, journalism. Runner-up in the Kentucky Derby for trainer Michael McCarthy, who won this race back in 2021 with Rombauer. Umberto Rispoli will have them out once again. And they said, the horse is telling us to go, so we're going to listen. Number 8, Clever Again. Post position 8 for Clever Again. Trainer Steve Asmussen won this race twice before. Jose Ortiz has them out. 4-length win in the Hot Springs Stakes last time out, and they're pretty confident he can carry his speed the distance. Number 3, American Promise. Post position 3 for American Promise. D. Wayne Lucas looking to tie Bob Baffer for most wins in this race. Match the record. This horse finished 16th in the Derby, and Lucas could be the first trainer to saddle back-to-back winners since Baffer did in 2001 and 2. Nick Juarez, the Maryland local, will have his first mount in the Preakness. Number 5, Pay Billy. Post position 5 for Pay Billy. I must ask the connections to my right. How do we feel about that? They are giving me thumbs up. Now, trainer Michael Gorman said he's been to about 23 Preaknesses before, either as a fan or running on the undercard. This will be his first horse in the big race. He calls this a home game. Post position at 9 for Gosker. This horse most recently won the Lexington. Jockey Luis Saez will be the 4th jockey in 4 starts, and this is a first Preakness starter for trainer Brendan Walsh, named, if you're a baseball fan, for retired baseball player Jim Gosker, who played for 10 seasons in the Major League Baseball. And last but surely not least, it's the international hopeful Heart of Honor for trainer Jamie Osborne, who will have his first U.S. starter in, of course, the States since 2018, ridden by his daughter, Saffie Osborne, at just 23 years old, a first Triple Crown runner for Jamie and a first American ride for his daughter. They say it's an adventure, we're sportsmen, and he is thriving at the right time. So that is a look at the post positions for your 150th edition of the Preakness Stakes. The bettors want some insight here, so let's bring up Dan Illman, Director of Communications, to give us those morning line odds.
Thank you, Brittany. Here's the morning line for Preakness 150 in post position order. The number 1 is goal-oriented, bringing an unblemished record into the Preakness for Bob Baffert. His objective, to give Baffert another classic win, 6-1. The number 2 is journalism, the Kentucky Derby runner-up, hardly an exclusive scoop. He's the morning line favorite in this race at 8-5. The number 3 is American Promise. Can the great Wayne Lucas do it again and make it back-to-back in the Preakness? American Promise, the Virginia Derby winner, 15-1. The number 4 is Heart of Honor, bringing some international intrigue to this year's Preakness. Heart of Honor, coming off a game runner-up effort in the UAE Derby, is 12-1. The number 5 is Pay Billy. Earned his way here by virtue of his victory in the Federico Tessio Stakes. A win and you're in right here in Maryland at Laurel Park. Pay Billy, 20-1. The number 6 is River Thames. True punters are going to be on River Thames. A very consistent runner, trained by Todd Pletcher. He is at 9-2. Sandman entered the Preakness picture at the 11th hour for Mark Casse. The very popular Sandman has John Velasquez aboard, is at 4-1. The 8 is Clever Again. Jose Ortiz aboard for Steve Asmussen. This horse earning a big speed figure, winning at Oaklawn last time out. He's at 5-1. And the number 9, Gosger, the winner of the Lexington Stakes at Keeneland, 20-1. That's the field of 9 for Preakness 150. Best of luck to all the connections.
Dan, thank you so much. So, your firm favorite there, Derby favorite, now Preakness favorite, is journalism. But I said this before, fan favorite, Sandman. And I know we have some connections in the house, so horse racing Twitter is going to absolutely love this. I want to bring up Griffin Johnson, who's here with us today. Shareholder in Sandman. Now, nice to see you. He's got the West Point pin on and everything. Well, first things first, I had spoken to John Green, owner of Sandman, and he had said to me, I don't want post 1 or 17. Well, obviously 17 wasn't going to be in there, but how do you feel about 7? Is this a lucky number?
I love 7. 7's great. 7's one of my favorite numbers, and like you said, as long as it's not 17 or 1, I'm good.
That's fair. Now, I want to take it back to the Kentucky Derby because for those who don't know, content creator, you have 14 million followers. You've been sharing your journey of horse racing with all of them. Some people who may not have experienced it otherwise. But there was a moment as you were watching Sandman come down the stretch in the Kentucky Derby where it went from rooting to almost desperation. You said, please, Sandman. Yeah. We've all been there, right? So can you describe from your perspective what that moment was like?
Well, I can't say that I was thinking about it. It just kind of came out. I didn't know I did that until I watched it back. But, you know, we wanted a better trip out of him, and I was just desperate because I know that, you know, with the talent that he has, he had the potential to run a little bit better. And the mud wasn't great, and we just are going to do our best coming up, and hopefully we can hold the weather off and talk to Mother Nature this week.
I'm not so sure about that, but we can hold out hope. I brought the rain boots. In terms of the reception that you've received from people that have had no experience in horse racing, what has it been like sharing this with them?
I think it's been great. I mean, this is my first time. So, you know, I came into it as a newbie myself, and with as much humility as I can have to being naive and ignorant to everything that goes on. But I think we're doing it together, and that's what the people like to see, someone that doesn't know everything.
Ain't that the truth? Well, best of luck on Saturday with Sandman. Can't wait to see all the fun videos there. One more time, we're going to give you all the coverage. You're going to stay here because you have to help me toast in an Irish way once we end this up, okay? So one more time, coverage, Black Eyed Susan, going to be on FanDuel TV, Ipica TV. 4:30 p.m. is where it starts on Peacock, and of course Saturday, Ipica, FanDuel TV, all-day coverage in between CNBC and NBC. Best of luck to everybody. Thank you for the Guinness Brewery for hosting us, First Racing, Connections for coming, the technical team, everybody. And with that, I've been told it is an Irish tradition to toast and say sláinte.
Sláinte. Okay.
And spill. My apologies. I'll clean that up. Okay, so I want everybody on the count of 3 to toast, and we'll say sláinte. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Sláinte. Cheers, everybody, and best of luck in Preakness 150. We'll see you Saturday.